Alderson, there's a brief bio for me on the screen. If you're interested in the presentation, it will be available on LinkedIn on my profile, but you can also send me an email to lockealderson@gmail.com. If you'd like to link in with me, please include where we contacted one another, where we saw each other. This is Career DFW's LinkedIn presentation, because I still get emails from India and China, and I don't always acknowledge and accept those as LinkedIn invitations. Why LinkedIn? You might want to ask that question. Well, LinkedIn is the #1 recruiting source for recruiters and hiring managers. It's estimated that 92% of the hiring managers and recruiters use it as a sourcing tool. If you're not on LinkedIn, you can go to YouTube, LinkedIn to show you how to sign up for that. It all starts with your profile. Here's a picture of my profile, and you notice a couple of things. There's a headshot there. There's a background picture. There's an add profiles to the profile section. And of course, on my profile, you notice a little blue pencils, which is how you edit and add things there. Underneath my name is my headline. Your headline is one of the features that you want to fill out, because that's how you get hold of people or let recruiters know what you're looking for. There's a tab that says contact information. And many of you have your contact information, your phone number and your email address and your contact information. But if it's not shared with everyone, I cannot access you unless we're directly connected. So underneath that, you notice something called Open to Job Opportunities. This is a feature that's moved around on LinkedIn several times. They've hidden it away in your settings section. We'll show you how to go use that a little bit later. But that's my background and my profile. How do you increase your LinkedIn rating? And that's important because LinkedIn is based on a number of different fields, and each of those fields has a ranking. And it gives certain points when recruiters do searches. And those kind of things include, in addition to all the features that I'm going to talk about, it's going to include some other things like your browsing activity. Have you posted? Have you commented? Have you added to your features category, which is another new activity that LinkedIn has added recently. So what you want to do is to complete your profile to attain all-star status, because the higher that you're ranking toward an all-star, the greater the likelihood is you're going to appear at the top of some recruiter's search. You need to have a professional headshot and a background photo. You need a headline. It's generally the position that you're applying for or the position areas that you're looking at. The About section, which used to be called the Summary, is an overview of your career. And you want to use keywords from your profession and for the positions that you're qualified for. Your contact information, while it may be in your contact information section, I strongly recommend that you include it in your About section in the first 2 lines. The more clicks that I have to do to find your contact information, the less clicks I'm going to make. Your contact information or your About section is your job title as it is. If it's an unusual title like a member of design staff or member of technical staff 3, explain what it is in generic terms. Add a standard title in parentheses. Education awards and professional development. Most of the profiles that I've looked at through the years have simply contained somebody's education, that they had a degree or an advanced degree. They fail to include their awards and certifications, and certainly their activities since then, because recruiters want to know what you've done since you got that degree, what you've done to keep current in your field. They also want to know about your skills from your profession and endorsements. It used to be that LinkedIn had a checkbox where you could check somebody's skill sets and as an endorsement. They also want to have recommendations. These are the letters of reference that you used to have. And the more of these that you have, the stronger the rating that you'll get. And also allows a recruiter to take a look at what somebody else has said about you. The features and your LinkedIn dashboard. Features is a new section that LinkedIn has added in your dashboard. Every one of you has a dashboard. I can't see it. Nobody else can, but you can. Your dashboard has the features. These are the presentations that I have. Today's presentation, Job Hunting with LinkedIn, is right there. If you want to click on it, you can do that. Your dashboard contains information about who's viewed your profile, the number of times that you've appeared in articles, and I've written a few articles, and the number of times that you've appeared in search appearances. If you notice it right there, wouldn't it be nice to know what they looked for when you appeared and who looked? If you take a look at that and click on search appearances, these were the keywords that showed up when somebody looked at mine, or a recruiter. Wouldn't you like to know who the companies were? Where these people that were looking for you looked at you work, because that may be a target for additional job leads for you. They may have openings for someone with your kind of background. Here's some sample headlines. And as I said, a headline is 120 characters that you have to play with. These first two I don't think are very strong. Unemployed or retired doesn't tell me much and have a negative connotation. This one's a little bit stronger, but really doesn't say much. Make it easy for somebody to identify what you're looking for. Formally a VP is okay. VP of Finance would be okay, but formally says you're out of work. And while you may be out of work, you don't need to broadcast it. Here's a little bit better one for a media professional. Even stronger one is a media professional with more information. And you notice the pipe characters here. This is an uppercase, a shift character on the right-hand side of your keyboard. Okay, that's usually on the third or fourth row up. It's a shift. Here's a different headline. This would allow somebody to know that you have a background in supply chain, procurement, and purchasing. Makes it real easy for that recruiter or hiring manager to know, do they want to look further? Here's another one, senior accountant, general ledger, financial reporting. Or an IT project manager with ITIL certification, maybe a scrum master. Or a general manager with manufacturing and aerospace experience. So you can see the progression of headlines. The stronger that they are, the easier it is for people to identify who you are and want to identify whether they want to click further. This is a sample summary. It's now called the About section. You notice it starts out with an email address to reach out to somebody. Has a good description of somebody with a financial planning and analysis background. And most of the time when you have an acronym like FP&A, as you see at the bottom of that screen, you want to spell out what the acronym is. But financial planning and analysis, or FP&A, CPA, MBA are generally searchable terms. Here are some other sample headlines. You could be a little bit more personal using the first person. I'm a grateful partner. The second one, I'm a strategic, creative, hands-on marketer. Those are some of the things that you can talk about in your career transition. Is your setting really public? One of the things that you can do is to change the settings to make sure that it's public. Well, all I've done is clicked on me on the top row up there and viewed view profile. Underneath the view profile, you see the settings and privacy. And this is what that looks like. You can edit your settings for your account, your privacy, for ads, communications, and job seeking preferences. This is where that job seeking preferences is moved to. And by doing that, okay, this is how do you edit your URL? You're up there at the top of the screen. It says edit public profile and URL. If you click on that, you can edit your customize your URL. Most of you, as you start out with LinkedIn, will have a number of numbers after your name. It's usually 8 digits after your name with maybe mostly numbers, but occasionally a letter. You can delete the numbers. You can add something like MBA or CPA or Texas accountant, Texas CPA, something of that nature. Okay, this is one from Gail Houston. I borrowed this slide from her presentation. You notice how it is, and that's what it appears. If the title or the name that you've selected is okay, it'll give you the green check mark. If it's already been used by somebody else, it'll give you the red. You have to change it in some way. It has up to 30 characters that you get to play with. Also in your privacy sections I mentioned, one of the things on the left-hand side you need to see job seeking preferences. You can click on that and change that. Let recruiters know that you're open to opportunities. And when you do that, you notice my profile here says open to job opportunities. I indicated senior career consultant, executive recruiter, technical recruiter, and contract recruiter roles. Okay. The About section that you see below has my contact information on the first line. Makes it easy for people to get hold of me, because even if you have that contact information in your contact information, it may not be available to the recruiter or hiring manager. For those of you who are unemployed, I strongly advise adding a current position. What do I mean by that? It means that you're looking for a job. In this case, it's a project manager who's searching for a position in telecommunications. He's been doing that since 2017. This guy's been out of work a long time. The headline is project manager, program manager searching for a position, in the description of the duties. Okay, so you can do that. This is one of those areas that LinkedIn regards that you have a current position and gives you higher scores for that. You can create job alerts. After you set your alerts for new jobs, then you can click on that and turn the radio button on or off. These are your preferences when you add job preferences. This is how recruiters actually look for a job or search for recruiter searches. Every search that's done is a little bit different, and the higher scores move to the top of the recruiter's list. All-star status, which meaning you've got a complete or nearly complete profile. You can never get 100% with LinkedIn. I think the highest I've ever seen mine is 95%. They match on the job title, in your previous job, and in your headline. There's a match. Are you open to new opportunities? Are you a first or second degree connection? You have a high number of connections. Usually it's over 500 gives you the highest score. What are your skills? What's your geographic location? Many people don't want to move more than travel more than 25 miles to work. So that's the default setting on recruiters when they look for a job, do a job search for someone. Comments, posts, articles, and writing an article or blog add to your scores. This is what a recruiter actually sees. This was for a product manager in Seattle. There were, of those candidates that showed up, there were 6,900 on this particular job, but not all of those people that showed up in the search are actually candidates looking for a job. But these are the number of people that had the skill sets marked on their profile. Here's the second search that a recruiter has done. This one had 43,000 results. It was in the Chicago Energy for a project manager. Somebody had skills in business strategy and analytics, and they'd gone to Northwestern University, was searching on university. 83 of those people were open to new opportunities. That's the easy, low-hanging fruit that recruiters frequently go after first because they don't have to have as many no's. I know when I worked as a recruiter with my own firm, I took training in that. They said if you want to make 20 placements a year, you're going to make about 5,000 calls. 4,000 of those are going to be no. So recruiters don't like to hear the word no. Okay, let's search for a job next. Okay, you notice up there you can search for a job, you can put in a title. LinkedIn has some educational features. So as you start to type in contract, they can add different things, contractor and different things like that, or accountant, or recruit, or recruiter. Those are words, and as they say, there's a drop-down menu that LinkedIn has because it has some artificial intelligence. If you click on one of the titles, the default setting for the location is the United States. So you also want to enter in a location and then click search. Creating job alerts. You notice this one was for a talent acquisition specialist. That's another euphemism for recruiter, but the setting on the top was for location was worldwide. Okay. And worldwide, there were only 165 results because it's a term that's not as widely used as recruiter is today. The first position that you see there is also one that you see the description of the job in the right column there. Okay, if you were searching for people at a particular company, this was a people search at Thomson Reuters. Why would you want to do that? Wouldn't it be nice to know the name of a recruiter or recruiters at Thomson Reuters if you were pursuing a position there? This one showed up about 227,000 results. These are people that have worked with or have Thomson Reuters in their profile. So how do you do some searches on that? Well, the next thing that you have on LinkedIn is being able to filter the search. This is a screenshot of the filters for a recruiter in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. One of the things I strongly recommend in searching for a job under the date posted is to click over on past week. The default setting is anytime, but the reason for selecting past week is many times a job is posted and it may have as many as 300 responses in the first hour. The first response is usually after about 3 minutes. So you want to get in first in the stack. And those jobs are fairly fresh. It means they probably aren't filled yet. If one's been up for a month or any time, it's likely that the job is no longer open. It's been filled, and perhaps a recruiter has gotten lazy and forgotten to take it down. If you use the LinkedIn features, you notice that the people in your network, Easy Apply is one of those tabs that you can use there. If you do Easy Apply, there's a chance it's just going to use your profile and won't allow you to upload a resume. And your profile is rather static. It's not like a resume, which you can customize a little bit. You notice that the other filter that's next is the type of job, whether it's full-time, intern, part-time, contract, temporary, volunteer, or other. You can select each of those. Notice most of the jobs are going to be full-time. Occasionally there are internship jobs, and a lot of students are on H-1B visas. They can work for up to 3 6-month periods to gain practical training. And that's where a lot of those are. I know I had a friend who was an MBA at SMU, and she did an internship in Chicago with one of the insurance companies up there. That was her summer internship and led to a job offer for her. Notice the location filter. If when you're looking for a job, it doesn't show up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you selected national, you'll need to add Dallas or Dallas County on the filter that's there. You can select by company. In this case, there are 2 jobs for recruiters at Thomson Reuters. You can choose the industry that you want. And if you don't see an industry, you can add it there. Same with the job function. Recruiter, that's a manager of recruiters. Or as in business development, means it's somebody with a recruiting firm out developing job leads. And the experience level. If you're not paying for LinkedIn Premium, the one way that you can help determine somewhere what the salary is by experience level. Internship is generally somebody who's still in school. Entry level means they've just finished schooling of some kind. Associate is usually 2 to 5 years of experience. Mid-senior level is probably 5 to 15 years experience, and then director and executive. So those are some of the filters that you can actually use on your job search. And once you've started a job search, if you don't get the results that you want, there is a clear button underneath the cancel over there, or next to the cancel, where you can go back and start with the same search that you had originally without having to re-enter it. Again, notice the experience level, and you can click as many as you want to find what you're looking for. This was for a project manager in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There were about 3,500 on that one. This was using a filter to find people at Thomson Reuters again. I looked, and this one is going to be based on your connections when you do it on a people search. You notice the first, second, and third degree connections that I have about 17,000 people out of the 16 million that are in my network that work at Thomson Reuters or have worked there. Why would you want to optimize your search and looking at your profile? You want to look at people on the recruiter side. And when I did the recruiter search in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there were about 26,000 people with recruiter in their profile. These would be the competition that I might have looking for a job. However, many of them are not even looking. They're just people with recruiter in their profile. If your profile doesn't show up, you might want to look at the people's profile, the first 10 thumbnail sketches. There are 10 per screen. You might want to look at them and see some of the verbiage that they have in their profile and incorporate that in your profile. And if you don't show up, and usually in the first 10 screens for a recruiter, you're not going to show up on their search headline. Okay, you might want to change. So I had a recruiter, Dirk Spencer, and I borrowed this from his presentation. All he did the last time he was looking for a job was to change his headline and his summary section, which is now the About section. He changed his title from Technical Recruiter to IT Recruiter Available Immediately, Corporate or Contract. And he's working now on a contract basis with Baylor, Scott & White. He changed his summary section. He was only out of work for about 5 weeks before he got landed a new job. That's basically what I have, Jeff. If you want the presentation again, you can email me at lockealderson@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send you the copy of the presentation, or it's in the presentation itself. Why don't we open it up for questions, Jeff?
Okay, Locke, we had a question. Ravi asked a question. Can you explain a little bit more about setting your profile that you're still employed when you're not? Wouldn't that be deceitful to a recruiter? So it's putting in a job to show that you're currently working, but you're looking for a job.
Well, it says currently seeking a job in the headline. Okay, it doesn't list a specific company that he's working for. Okay, this is part of, I won't say gaming the system with LinkedIn, but again, it evaluates whether you are currently working. If you are currently looking for a job, you are working. Hopefully that answers the question, Jeff.
And then once you get that job, you delete that little section because it's really unimportant in your job search, but at least it shows you current, and you have to have a current job to be ranked higher in the searches. Yeah. So if
you want a complete profile, yes, that's what you have to have in there. That's one of the factors that alters whether you have a complete profile or not.
All right, somebody asked, is it better to pay for the premium level?
I tried premium service for about a month. And if you try it, it's free for the first month. If you make a decision not to do it, you want to let them know by say the 25th, 26th a day that you're not going to continue. I didn't find it the major advantage that it offers. It offers some information about salaries. and it offers information about, I shouldn't say information, allows you to make more contacts within mails.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Is that it? Anybody else? Do we want to look at somebody's profile, Locke?
Sure, we can do that. Oh,
You have to share your screen back again,
okay.
or I can share mine and look it up either way.
Why don't you have somebody give me the information that we want to look up?
Who would like to have their profile looked at? Just either raise your hand or how about Sam Courtney, Courtney? And Locke, you'll need to share your screen again.
Okay, I've got it. And show. I thought I had it, Jeff, but I don't have LinkedIn up, so I'm going to have to shrink it and go to LinkedIn and